Hey guys, Colton from Parsey here. Today we're going to be going over the complete setup of a DocuSign document, as well as creating or updating the credit card on a contact record. So to begin, we're going to click Create Your First Template, and then we're going to upload our document. There we go. This is going to be my contract for services rendered. I'm going to give it a name, probably that. All right, so down here on this section, we're going to change the recipients from person to placeholder, and I'm just going to call it signer. It can be anything that you want, basically just for your reference. Then I'll click Next. So this is where we're going to add the fields to the document. Oh, I'm not going to zoom in then. That doesn't look very good. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. Grab name. And then date signed right here. And let's see. I'm just going to grab a text box right here and add some text to it. I'm going to do this one. Address. And I'm going to extend it out to here. But before I begin from here, this one, for example, if you click this, full name, and you go to advanced, you can see it has a data label. And the data label is how it's going to show up inside Parsey. So we'll get to that a little later, but I just wanted to show you that you'll need to do this for each of them. And I'm not going to name this address. I'm actually going to go to the data label and change it to address. So then I'm also going to add... let's add a few radio buttons. I've got 4 credit cards on here, so I'm going to do 4 buttons, and I'll do name that credit card type. And if you're not adding a credit card, don't worry about this section. This is just for the people that will be adding a credit card. And I'll be putting these buttons over here so that they can select which type they're going to do. And I'm also going to change the data labels for these individual ones. So this one will be Visa, Discover. This one will be Amex. And this one will be MasterCard. All right, so now I have those set. And these are going to be required. And then also I'm going to do, let's do this. I'm not going to grab the name field because the name on the card may be different from the name of the person signing. So we'll just change this data label to be name on card. And then we'll do a couple other text fields here. Have this one be expiration month, and then another one for expiration year. And then the last one will do the CVV code. All right, perfect. And let's move on from here. Right now we'll do printed name of the client. We'll do the same thing that we did before, just drag the full name there, and then the signature of the client. Let's do signature right here. All right, I'm not going to do the printed name of the provider or the agent. That's going to be the company that I'm pretending that I'm going to be, is John's Lawn and Garden. For right now, this is good. I'm just going to go ahead and hit save and close, and then move on to the next step. All right, now let's go into Parsey. For this integration, we're using webhooks, so I'll go to the webhook parsers page. And then I'm going to give it a descriptive label, and I'm going to name it the same as the name of my contract. So contract for services rendered. And then the type, I'm going to leave it standard. And the reason why I'm naming it the name of the contract is because if you have multiple contracts, you're going to want one of these for each of your contracts. So now you'll notice since I created this, there's a new URL. So I'm going to copy that. Now that I have that copied, I'm going to go straight over to Infusionsoft. All right, I created a campaign for my services rendered contract, and you can do it either way, but I choose to have a campaign for each contract, but it's totally up to you. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a goal right here. And the type of goal we're going to have it be applies a tag, and we're going to have it be send. We'll just call it send contract. Oop. Perfect. And now attached to that, or actually we're going to configure this tag and create one. We're going to call it send services rendered contract. And I don't have a tag for that, so I'm going to just click create. And then I'm going to give it a category, and I'll call it DocuSign. Let's go DocuSign tags. Then I'm going to click save on there, and then save that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a sequence and pull it over here, attach it to that, and then I'm going to name this services rendered contract sequence. All right, go open this up in here, and then under the process, I'm going to scroll down here, grab a send HTTP post, configure this, and then I'm going to actually paste that URL that I copied over from Parsey. You remember it from here. And then what I'm going to do is these name and value pairs that are on the HTTP post, I'm going to add as many as I want to add to the document. So right here on the document, I'll want the full name, the address of the customer, and I think that's basically everything that we can grab from Infusionsoft. But a few things that are required: we need the first and the last name and the email address of the contact. So I'm going to add a few different fields. Just going to do this: first name, last name, email address, and then let's add another one. Let's just call it billing address. Yeah. All right, so from here we'll grab the merge fields, contact fields, most common, first name, last name, email address, and then actually instead of that, I'm going to add several fields. So the billing address, the city, the state, and then one more for the zip. Billing. All right, so then we'll go to billing address. Okay, so we'll grab street address 1, city, state, and zip. All right, now that we've got all those, I'm going to change this from a draft to ready, and then go back to the sequence, and change this from draft to ready, go back to the campaign, and then publish it. Now in order to continue, I need to send the HTTP post to Parsey using that URL. So what I'll do is I'll go into a contact and I'm going to apply that tag that triggers the sending of that HTTP post. And so I'm going to come in here to the tag, the contacts tags, and I'm going to do DocuSign tags and then send services rendered contract. And I'm going to click apply this tag. All right, now we're inside Parsey, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this refresh button to see if Parsey has received that HTTP post. And it looks like it has, because you can see that it's turned green. From here, I'm going to click this configure button and then click edit fields. And then I'll select all the fields that I want to grab from the webhook. So I'll select contact ID, the billing address street, the name. I'm going to select all these fields real quick. All right, now that I've got all these fields selected, I'm going to go and click Configure Actions. And then from here, I'll connect to my Infusionsoft account. I think this is the one I used. Nope, I actually used the YU109. Then I'll click Save Field on that. And then from here, for the Creator Update Contact, the only one that you'll want to mess with on this event is the Contact ID. So for the duplication method, I'm going to use or select User Provided Infusionsoft Contact ID. And then down here, I'll select Contact ID and then select Use as Contact ID to update existing record. So now I'll click Save. And then now under here, you'll notice a green button has popped up. I'm going to click Add Another Event, and I'm going to select DocuSign Integration. So what I'm going to do is add another integration, and I'm just going to give it a label, and I'm just going to say DocuSign. And then I'm going to use the login. Change that. Click Save Application. So now it's going to reload, and I'll be able to select that from the drop-down, and then I'll select the, oh, must be this one, the MM account, my template folder, and then I'm going to select the contract for services rendered. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull in all the fields that are on the document. And you can see this is where the data labels that I showed you earlier come into play. You can see this is name 1, name 2, address, name on card, and all the other fields. So what I can do here is I can map my fields from Infusionsoft that are in the HTTP post to the fields on the document. Now for name, remember we did first name and last name separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Use Merge Fields, and then I'm going to click this Merge Fields option right here, and then grab first name, put that in here with a space after it, and then last name, copy that, put it right there, and then I'm going to copy this and do the same thing for name 2. All right, so that'll pull in my first name and last name on those lines. And then if for any reason you wanted to change that and allow them to update their name however they want, you can select the first and last name fields in Infusionsoft right here. But for now, I'm just going to leave that blank. And the same thing for the address. If I wanted to allow them to update their address in Infusionsoft, I could do the same thing right here. So for the address, I'm going to use the merge fields again. And then I'm going to grab billing address. Billing city. I'm going to put a comma after that. Do billing state. And then I'll do billing postal code. So that way it's the standard format for the address. And that's going to pull all those fields from the HTTP post and put them on this address line right here. So now that I did that, I'm going to do name on card, and I'll do the same thing. First and last name. Oop, not that one. Grab this one. Right here. So it'll pull that in, and it doesn't have to be, and always they'll be able to change that down here, and I'll put the correct information, but for right now it's going to auto-populate it for me. And then expiration month, year, and CVV actually. We don't know any of that right now, so we can't auto-populate it, and we also can't pull it from an HTTP post anyways. So we're just going to leave these as skip, and then under the recipients section, we're going to do name again, so that their signature is their first name and their last name. And then under email, we're going to select email address. All right. So right here are Infusionsoft API campaign goals for the campaign builder. For if any stage of the document you want to trigger automation, it will complete these on wherever the signer is at that stage. So as soon as you send the document, you can trigger an API campaign goal to do some automation. If they view the document and haven't signed it within 24 hours, you can use these values to send them reminder emails and things like that. Same with completed, voided, and declined. You can trigger automation off those. This next section, we're going to do upload document to the Infusionsoft, which will put it in their file box. I'm going to select yes on that, and then I'm going to click Save DocuSign Integration. And there's one more step after this. You got to come up here to the actions page, click that, turn the action from off to on, and you're all set. So this is the point to where if you're just doing the contract being sent out, that you can stop watching. Right now I'm going to proceed on to the create or update credit card event and how to do that within Parsey. So what we'll want to do is create a new webhook parser, and we're going to call it the same thing this is, except we're going to put update credit card after it. So I'm going to say rendered, and then put, all right, and then click Save Webhook Parser. So this URL that we just created right here that's on this parser, I'm going to copy that, and then actually I'm going to go back into the actions, click Edit Action, and then scroll all the way back down to the DocuSign integration. And then right here where it says Send Webhook, we'll check this box, and we'll put that URL right there. So now when the document gets completed, it's going to send all the values and field values in a HTTP post to this new Parsey webhook, and you can select the credit card information from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my webhook parsers, and I'm actually going to go to the inbox for this one from the test that we sent from Infusionsoft earlier, and I'm going to reprocess this webhook. And this will treat it as if it's a brand new webhook coming in, and it'll send the document to me. All right, so now I'm going to click Refresh Webhook, and you can see that the webhook was processed. And if you scroll down here, you can see that it found the contact and updated it successfully, and also sent out the DocuSign document successfully. So I'm going to sign that real quick, and then we will keep going. All right, so funny story. It turns out I actually left off the credit card number on that contract, so I had to go re-edit it. But this one is fully updated, and we can continue on now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the document, make sure everything's correct. You can see that it populated the address properly. And I'm going to go ahead and select the Visa, enter card number, just 16 random digits. Expiration month, I'll just do one of, this is 2017, not 24. And then put in the card details, the CVV. So now I'll go to signature. I'm going to adopt and sign this right here, and then click finish. All right, now that that's all signed and everything, I'm waiting for this parser to send the completed information to this parser, and I'll click refresh to see if that's hit it yet. And it looks like it has hit here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click edit fields, and we're going to grab all the information that we need to update the contact with the credit card information. So what we'll do is we'll just grab probably just need the email address, and we can grab the Infusionsoft contact ID too, to be more exact. And then down here, we're going to grab the name on the card, the expiration month, expiration year, the CVV, the card number, and then under radios, we're going to select this right here, this string. And so the thing about this string right here is depending on which values you selected when you signed the document, that one will be first. So if I had selected Discover instead of Visa, Discover would start this string right here. So that's what we're going to use a little later on. We're going to do 4 different create credit card events, and I'm just going to do that right now. So we'll go up here to Configure Actions, connect it to Infusionsoft. And then for here, we're going to use the contact ID again, just like we did with the other parser. And then we'll use this as the contact ID, and we'll leave these ones blank for now. So I'll click Save Contact Settings, For this one, we're going to click Create or Update Credit Card. And we're going to put a filter on this so that it says if this Fields Radio's credit card string, that's the string that we selected from the webhook, starts with Visa, comma, then it's going to run this create credit card event. So the card type, we're going to manually set the value and have it be Visa. The card number, we're going to use an extracted field, and we're going to select the card number, expiration month, we're going to select expiration month, and then expiration year. And then we can go ahead, go to the advanced options, and then select, see, where is it? Signer's text field's name on card, import as is to this field, and then we'll do down here where it's at. Oh, name on card right there. And click Save Credit Card. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for the other 3 credit cards, and then after that, I'm going to go to Actions, and then turn this Infusionsoft action from off to on. Then I'm all set. I'm good to go. My contract will now update their credit card information once the document is signed. That concludes this video. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to support@parsey.com or call the number on our website. But until then, I'll see you later.